Whoa.
Okay.
Great TV. I need one of those.
Yeah, me too.
Good morning, Nicole. Would you like me to do roll call to establish quorum?
Well, yes, good morning. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the Policy and Budget Subcommittee meeting today, April 21st. Yes, we can go ahead and start and do roll call.
Okay, Nicole Green,
Aye.
Lanita Mims,
Present.
and Justin Van Zerber.
Present.
All board members are present.
Thank you, thank you. Again, welcome, everyone here. We'll go ahead and get started. Believe everyone have the agenda. So the first thing on our agenda, we already did welcome, so we do quick introductions. My name is Nicole Green. I am the chair for Policy and Budget Subcommittee.
Lanita Mims. I think I'm the secretary.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's Friday, we tired.
Goodness.
And Justin Van Zerber, Vice Chair of Policy and Budget.
Okay. And do we want to open it up to the
Yes.
staff first, Monique, and then
So-
public?
Yes, I'm Monique Tate. I'm with the Office of Reentry and Justice. And then we have Jill Ray present in the room.
Yes, and I also just wanted to ask Monique, can you make sure that the policy and budget subcommittee agenda is posted online for this month?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. What are you asking?
I'm on the agenda center and the policy and budget agenda is not posted.
It should be posted. This particular one here?
Yeah.
Oh, it should be posted. I will research that. Thank you for letting me know. I'll research that because it definitely was posted. That's how I sent it out to the members.
Sure, the link is, but when you go to the link, there's no agenda posted to the agenda center.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for letting me know. I'll fix that then. And then we have Crawford Carpenter, the chair of CAP.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning, good afternoon.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, thank
being
you,
with-
Yes. Okay, thank you, everyone. Next, is there any announcements? No?
I don't have any.
No? Okay. Any announcements from the public? Okay, did you have an extra one for you? Yeah, sorry. Hearing none? Okay. So moving on to the next agenda item, excuse me. I can really sneeze. Excuse me, that's you. Oh, thank you. Moving on to the next agenda item, is there any public comment on any item under the jurisdiction of the Community Advisory Board and not on the agenda? Hearing none for no public comment, okay. So moving on to agenda item number 3, which is the approval of the minutes from our March 17th, 2023 CAP Policy and Budget Subcommittee meeting. And within the attachment, it starts on page 4. So we can take a second to look through that.
A motion to approve the minutes.
Huh.
I have a motion to move or to approve the minutes.
Okay, so we have Justin as a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Can we have a second?
Any comments?
Not seeing any comments.
Looks like there's no comments, Nicole, so I can call for the vote.
Yes.
Nicole Green,
Aye.
Justin Van Zerber,
Aye.
and Lenita Mims.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so moving on to agenda item number 4, our goal for this meeting was to finalize our county staff meeting guide. In order to meet our outline deadline that we have for the work plan, which we'll look at after this. So I know that Monique sent out a copy of the document before the meeting. I apologize, I did not get a chance to look at it before the meeting. But our goal was kind of go through each one and give our feedback, kind of get it written out, so that we can go back and finalize this and start scheduling when we're going to start doing a county staff meeting. So
Okay.
so the very first one was the policy and budget point of contact and program managers. Joe, I believe you were sending that information to me on our last meeting. The contacts, I think, for some of the,
Yeah, I did that
Program.
a couple months ago, and then I think I resent it, so then
Okay.
you should have that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know if I received it, but I will, yeah, so I'm sorry, I haven't updated that. But I will update that and include it in this document. And can you tell me which page that's on, Nicole, for the county updates? Where should that be?
page. I believe
This
that's page
page.
2.
Okay.
That's 4?
page
8
Um,
of 20.
8 of this document, but yeah, so page 8.
So I'm gonna rely on you guys for the page number, because
Okay.
I print out a whole.
That's fine.
separate copy.
Okay, I will get that included in there.
And for the subcommittee, looking at this, would it like we're missing anyone? I know we have housing. Our goal is housing, employment, behavioral health. Which focuses on the mental health, the substance abuse. Is there anybody else? And that's based on our main 3 recommendations out of the whole 6. Is there anything else that we?
Are we gonna add more than just one, or are we just gonna have these 4?
Well,
Just
I'm sorry.
FYI, employment is employment and human services, so it covers all the safety net.
Okay.
Jill, so for clarification on that, are there specific managers within?
So I sent Monique it, but it's the directors. So
Okay.
Christy Paxton is the director of H3.
Yeah,
Marla Stewart is the director of EHSD. And then
Okay.
Fran Tufano is the, director of behavioral health.
Okay,
And so that they would be able to more, connect you with, there's somebody different with it below them.
right,
They would be the ones to determine who. you would
Okay.
be discussing with.
wonderful.
so maybe what we can do is for this particular page, just review it at our next one, just this page, because by that time, the information will be added. And so we can kind of review how many actually for each one.
And then determining what et cetera is, if there's something else.
And what I could do, Nicole, is I can update it and blind copy you all with it. So when we come back to the next meeting with this information, it'll have the names included. We might not put the phone number on there. Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask Patrice how we do this. Maybe we will. I'll ask Patrice how she wants to handle it,
Okay.
because
and
she'll
then,
vet it anyway, whatever I post. So, but I can update the information.
And then I say, piggybacking off of what Jill just said, remove the et cetera. We can add more after we actually see the list. Like I
Okay.
said, once we actually talk to the directors and figure out the different departments, we'll probably then break it out more. But at the
Okay.
time being, you all are okay with just leaving it with the main 3?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think that's where you identified the deficiencies,
yes.
the gaps in those 3 divisions.
and individuals living with disabilities would be under behavioral health. Okay. And
Maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
So if they're regional center clients, they would be under regional center as the primary.
Okay.
Because that's a whole different funding and it's a whole different, it's state. not-
What is regional center? I'm sorry.
The regional center of the East Bay
Okay,
is a state agency to support those who live with disabilities. And it starts when they're children. So if they're diagnosed with disability post-childhood, post, I think it's
Mhm.
1, Nicole, I think
Yeah.
it is, then that's a different, then they could
Mm-hmm.
possibly qualify for SSDI, state disability. But previous to that, they could be clients if they've had a diagnosis previous to that of the regional center. And that's a whole host of other services that's outside the county.
So can I ask you this then, in reference to what we're doing regarding like the budget and recommendations on how this funding has been allocated? Who would we talk to in reference to behavioral health when we talk about disabilities and things like that? Because I know
You would
about
start
that
with-
department.
You would start with Dr. Tavano,
Okay,
but there's a lot of challenges between the regional center and county services.
Right.
Exactly where they cross over because of
Okay.
different funding streams. It's an ongoing conversation.
do you think it's beneficial to talk about the things? And I ask that from my job as well as from a personal, I understand that.
Right.
Because I've had to go through the process.
Yeah.
So do you think it's beneficial for us to step out of our regular individuals and kind of talk to the regional center at all, or just?
For
kind of-
sure. I mean, if they have clients that are struggling with incarceration or release incarceration or,
Okay.
some sort of issue with the detention system, then I think it's a great idea to find that out. I don't know what percentage of their clients.
Okay, because I know that some of the programs, I know mainly, especially for Gang Informed Success, we do refer there
Right.
for individuals that do have
And we
disabilities.
have
So
a
there are some.
fantastic contact.
Yep.
Developmental Disabilities Council in our county.
Yeah.
Who you could talk to.
Okay,
You all know who she is.
so that would be our fourth.
Yeah.
yeah. Did you
Monique,
get that, Monique? I'm sorry.
I did not. The fourth would be what, I'm sorry, I was taking some other notes. What is it called? Center of
The regional center of East Bay?
Regional Center of East Bay. Okay,
And I'll send you that info, Monique. Monique, it's T. Ibarra is the contact, that's the staff member to our Developmental Disabilities Council in the county.
okay,
And she's
all right, I will add that as number 4.
and then the only other addition that I could foresee, and maybe it's included in one of these other departments, is diversion and what do they call it? Sorry, I had it. I moved it. Diversion and restorative justice programs. So are those within one of these 4 departments as well?
no,
That's
generally
also
no.
CBOs, right?
Little bit, well, it's a little bit through behavioral health court. A little bit of that, starting to be implemented even more. But diversion tends to be more at a lower level, whether it be police agency, district attorney.
Right.
Those are the areas that you're looking more at, the diversion and restorative justice in those areas.
And so is the county funding programs for that?
So the district attorney just is lifting up the community courts.
Okay,
There was neighborhood courts and those got all closed down. So they are just lifting that back up again.
okay.
So that level of diversion and how is she funding? I don't know if it's coming out of her budget or if she has a grant, I can't remember.
Okay.
And then, the police agencies are the ones that work with the community courts. So, but then there's also lower level diversion that they do within their communities that
Right.
falls outside of all of this.
And we talked to some of those, all right, through the ambassadors, the ambassador calls, correct?
You talked to one of the
The
chiefs
police
that's a
chiefs.
representative on this.
Okay,
But would we put it on this list though, because that wasn't one of the recommendations?
no, I think it should stay with the
Okay.
CAB.
Yeah, I think this list is just,
It's just, this is solely focused on those recommendations for the budget.
Got
And
it.
so out of the 6, the main focus was around housing, employment, and behavioral health.
Oh, understood. Okay.
So our goal again is to reach out to county staff to explain to them the results from the survey, and the feedback that we received, and also, the recommendations from CAP for those 3 main points.
Got it.
And get their feedback as well, based on what we're telling them, how they think money should be allocated. Also, like you mentioned last, what are they seeing on their side that can
Right.
help us as well? Because ultimately, the goal at the end is we have to come up with recommendations for the budget. So how do we do that without data?
Right.
Awesome. That's where Frank comes in.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Any other feedback or questions or ideas?
Good conversation.
Yes, great.
None? Okay, moving on to the next page, which is the sample contact email. So let's see, is there anything, kind of read through this. So I know on our last conversation, I really like the feedback you gave. I like the template, but it's really gonna change based on how we decide to do it once we see the list. So if it's going to be us, I'm sorry, you guys, us inviting them to one of our meetings, or we reach out and have individual Zoom calls, is going to determine how this is going to be written.
Yeah.
So I think this will actually change based on how we determine how the conversation is going to go. This language here is the standard, like when we do our ambassador calls. So I think once we get an idea of how many point of contacts we actually have and our direction that we're going to go, we can all decide as a group, do we just want to kind of invite them here or reach out? We've got to also look at our timeline on our work plan to figure out how much time we really have to do this, right? Which I believe was.
Oh, I don't think it got,
The timeline is not in this document.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, I think I brought my old one, so let me see.
Okay.
Yeah. We wrote down between May and June. That's when we want to start.
So is that for the actual meetings with the individuals? That's what you want to do between May and June?
Yes, I was looking back at the work plan from our last meeting. We had discussed
Okay.
possibly starting the conversation around May or June, because we have to start working on the budget between July and October.
Okay,
So,
so and these communications need to go out before our next meeting.
yes, so it'll be all based on the information from Monique. Yeah. Or either we're just going to be up against the clock in June.
Which.
so the information, I'm sorry,
Go ahead, Mike.
it's Monique.
So I'm sorry, let me talk louder. I'm sorry.
That's okay, no
So what-
worries.
so what-
So the information from me is completing this document so you all can use it as a guide to reach out to the individuals, right?
Right, and what we're saying is in reference to the communication, the sample email or communication here, is going to change based on how we decide to reach out to the county partners, meaning once we have an idea of how many contacts we have, we decide we want to invite them to our meetings and do a presentation and act there, or do we want to divvy it up and go try to talk to them one by one, and that will determine how this verbiage will be written.
Okay,
So I really-
and then because this is a sample contact email, I mean, it's a sample, so it's gonna be based on, like you said, based on the situation. So I don't know if you need to make it exact. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't need to make it exact because it really is gonna depend on how you're reaching out to the person. I mean, probably you're gonna reach out via email. And then once they respond, then you and the individual determine if they're gonna come to the committee or if one person will be actually meeting with that individual like you do with the ambassadors meeting. But in that case, it's 2 people, but because you guys are so small, it would likely be one person meeting, reaching out to, it looks like you have 3 organizations or 3 agencies right now, maybe 4 with the one I need to add. So it would either be 1 or 2 people doing this or just starting with the email. I feel like
We
I'm
can't do
rambling,
two
but
people because of the pronoun.
Yeah, it'll be one, it'll be one.
yes,
We'll
you're
each-
absolutely
Okay.
right. It will be a quorum. Yep, you're right. Thank you. So,
recommend- I would
Go ahead,
recommend you
Jill.
just. I would recommend you decide a meeting of this body, because you have an hour and a half. And then, you know, I can't imagine, because then you're doing one presentation,
Okay,
right, of the survey to the 4 individuals.
okay,
And then that gives 15
Oh.
minutes to each one of them
okay,
to say, to ask any questions or to give their feedback.
okay.
And also they could come to the meeting maybe with some suggestions, you know, because you're gonna provide them the information, hopefully in the invite of what the
Right.
survey said. So I would suggest you do it in a meeting and just do it all at once.
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
actually say, is it feasible for us to do a meeting for that purpose?
Okay,
But how will they come
it
to the
will,
meeting?
it will be one of our subcommittee meetings.
Okay. But will,
You mean like on Zoom or in person?
right,
Oh, either way, it doesn't
Okay.
matter. They can come by.
but they will come.
I would
Yeah.
imagine. I mean, I introduced Monique to them by
Okay.
email and
Okay.
said Monique would be reaching out to
Now, okay.
them because this group wanted to. I mean, what you're doing is saying, we want to recommend funding for your division,
Mhm,
Okay,
right?
Right.
I mean, you would say, no, it's
Mhm.
not.
okay.
and this is Monique, and they've been pretty responsive in the past to share with CAP as a presenter, you know, so like Dr. Susanna, she's, you know, they're familiar with CAPS. I don't know about all the other agencies, but most of
Four
them,
of them, very responsive and very.
Yeah. yeah, so they probably would enjoy presenting and sharing, you know, what they're doing.
Okay, so I say, yeah, we should just.
I think
invite
that'll
them.
be-
Yeah,
so we will present the survey. We have talking points here. And then the talking points are already typed out, which we've used before, that kind of, and again, I picked this one because I love the way that Crawford broke down the recommendations and the way he wrote it out, and it kind of helped us stay on task, but we'll get there in a second. So you okay with that too, with us having just one invite, just one of our meetings? And
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think if one or several are not able to attend, then going back to an individual approach based on their needs.
Yeah.
Are you both envisioning that we invite them to the June meeting then? That gives us a little more time to kind of prepare the content we want to share with them.
I was gonna propose that too.
Okay.
Cause I'm thinking like, may I give us enough time, because when we're done with this, we'll be able to get everything together. And then June, we can actually have a meeting. So next meeting, we can add the survey there. And kind of talk about how we're going to present it and discuss it, but get all the communication out in May to give them
A month.
a month to kind of get
Yeah.
it together. So notifications should go out in May, but invites to come in June.
Wonderful.
Okay. Thanks, Jim. Did you hear that, Monique?
Yes, I did. Thank
Okay.
you.
And the meeting for June is June 16th.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. What's the dates for our next
the
meetings?
Friday?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the 16th.
Yes, it is 16th.
June 16th.
maybe next month we can draft like tailored questions that we can include in that email to them.
Okay.
Because the different departments are gonna have differing priorities, right?
Correct.
And so what do we really want to hear from them that's specific to their department?
I think we've done that. Find it.
You're good. That's not enjoyable.
I know that when we presented to the CCP, and let me see if it's in this one. I know one of the documents that Crawford shared is included in that. So not only did we have this breakdown here, we presented to CCP, Crawford went as far as with this document below that each department, like with behavioral health. He had the questions that we asked based on our recommendations for the employment piece. So there was like a small verbiage, there was a small little wording that we can look at and change it, but we did do that at CCP.
Oh, great. So Monique, are you able to identify that and include it in our next packet?
Yes. So we have a couple of meetings. Nicole and I will do an agenda planning meeting. And she will share with me like what, she'll remind me what needs to be on there. I'll have this resource as well, this recording.
I'll find it. Crawford sent me a whole bunch of documents. I can visualize which one it is. So let me make a note so I don't forget.
But yes, Justin, we can definitely include it in. We have ample time to do that.
Right. And then Monica, question, like a technical question. So if we were to create some type of slide deck or presentation that we would be giving at the meeting to them, does that need to be finalized and included in the packet in advance, or is that something that can be shared publicly in the meeting?
No, it needs to be done in advance because it has to be posted with the agenda.
Okay.
Okay. So are you proposing that we come up with a PowerPoint presentation?
I mean, just a simple slide deck, I think is always helpful, but I don't know how we like collaborate on.
Right, I was
like
gonna
that.
ask that.
I don't-
This is Monique. I have a question, Justin. So you're inviting the people to come and present, right?
No.
So, no, you're not.
No,
You're inviting them to, okay, explain to me what they're coming. You're inviting them to.
so we're inviting them so that we can present to them the survey results. And discuss our recommendations on funding
Okay,
And then
okay,
to
so,
collect their-
and to collect their feedback.
okay, got it. Okay, all right. So yes, you all would have to come up with a PowerPoint or some type of slide deck to do your presentation to them or interview them, if you will.
But what are, is due to the, what law you said?
Brown.
Brown Act. How can we collaborate to be able to do that? Because only
Well,
next
you
time
could
that we
send
have-
it, you could send it to me, like if you come up with several questions. Or how you want, just like we have the CAP PowerPoint. So each one of you come up with something. And then you would send it to me and I would put it together and then I would, I could send it to you blind copy to confirm. Or when Nicole and I meet in the agenda planning meeting, she can tell me, yes, this is exactly what we wanted. And then also we could bring it to the next meeting because this is for June, right? This is in preparation for June. So we have a couple of ways to go around the Brown Act where we're not violating the Brown Act.
Okay,
But each individual should send me something that you would like included in this presentation. And then, I will work with Patrice to organize it. And then, like I said, I could blind copy you all and show you, and you would tell me, nope, that's not exactly what we said. This is what I envision, so we can do it that way.
so, okay, so if we think about it, I think first is us figuring out what we want inside that PowerPoint.
Right.
So initially, of course, always an intro of who we are, kind of like the same way it's written out. What our goal, bullet this down before I forget. So always, always the intro, the reason. We definitely do want to, and that's, where is it? Like taking parts from here, just like little bullets, doesn't have to be this whole thing, but this is kind of like our talking point. And then initially throwing the survey results in there. Is there like a summary of the results? Because I know the presentation for the survey results is kind of long, right? So we don't want to, is there a way to present the results in a shorter?
Yes, are you referring to the programs and services, some summary result that we did, right?
Correct.
Yes, we could do a snapshot of it. I think we already have like a summary of it. So yeah, we could definitely do that.
If,
That could be like your number one thing, the snapshot or the summary of the overall survey results. And then you all come up with guiding questions or clarifying questions that you want to propose to the agency.
So, okay, intro, survey, snapshot, then a review of our recommendations.
that'll be the snapshot. Won't it?
No, that's just the full survey, right? The snapshot of full survey. Our
I would
recommendation,
think the snapshot is just where you've identified the need
right, okay,
based on your survey of the CBOs. and
Yeah,
the
exactly.
attorney partners, the identified need, and then turning to them to ask them what they feel, they could provide within their division to meet that need, so that you can advocate for it.
okay,
Because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to
Right.
advocate for increased funding in those divisions that can fill those gaps.
okay,
right?
yes, okay.
But you can't say, we're just gonna give it to behavioral health.
Right.
Behavioral health,
Right.
right, say, we have this program
Right,
that we could lift up because we have the funding. kind of
okay,
thing.
okay.
That's what you're looking for from them. You have to remember there's AB 109 programming, but then there's all this other programming in the county funded through other areas. So if they can bring that programming in, if they have the funding.
I'm happy to, if we have like a summary PowerPoint already, I'm happy to take a stab at adapting it and sharing it to Monique, who could share it to you all for feedback. If you want to
Okay.
go that route.
I don't know if we have, do we have? Is that a yes?
Wait, what did Justin say? Justin, repeat what you said. I'm sorry.
Do we have I think you were alluding to, we have a PowerPoint that has a summary of the recommendations that were provided.
Yes, we do.
So if that can be shared with me, I'm happy
Okay.
to take a stab at like revamping this so
Okay.
it fits our needs.
Okay.
And leaving some blank slides at the end for questions for each of the departments. And then you guys could provide feedback through Monique throughout the month if you have any. And then the following meeting in May, we could just then agree on the questions
Okay,
and the PowerPoint's finished.
okay.
That's a great idea.
Because I think if we wait until May to
Good
like
job,
go
Beth,
through
thank
it,
you, thank you.
it's gonna
Okay,
take
it's
too
gonna take-
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can send that to you, Justin. I can send it to everyone to review it. And then Justin, you'll take the lead on it
That would be
as
great.
far as organizing something for you all.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
you're welcome.
So then do we have a document or documents that we normally share with the department heads when we request the meeting? Or is that something else that needs to be?
That'll be something that we will create because this is new.
Got
So for our. Do we, well, no, I don't think we do for our bachelor's meeting, but I think we create something that we can share if need be for them to have. I know all they'll get is the agenda when the call is
Yeah,
created. That would include the PowerPoint, any documents that we're going over, but outside of that. And correct me if I'm wrong, I've never handed anything out when I've had a do a call like that.
Yeah, this is
Is it-
Monique. So you're right, Nicole. The toolkit, the ambassador's toolkit is a guide for you to use. You don't have to use it, but it supports you in that effort when you're setting up that meeting with the contacts for the ambassador guide, for the ambassador program. This is the same thing. When you're setting up this communication, this is a guide as well. So this is to help the person. This is collective though, to help you all on how to approach the different agencies. So it would be the same thing. We don't have a set of tools like forms or this is what you're doing now with doing this document. You're setting it up so that you can all agree on it as a kind of standard operating document, but you definitely could modify it, to meet your need.
I think for me, like when I attend a meeting, if I'm able to give thoughtful response, it's because I've already consumed some of the information, right?
Okay,
And so I think if they're seeing it for the first time, it might be like a very kind of generic response.
Okay.
If we give them information in advance, they may be able to have time to kind of prepare a little bit more. And that
Okay.
might elicit a deeper response.
so are we able to send out information to them ahead of time? Like if we create the PowerPoint, some type of communication when we do the invite, so invite them to the meeting, are we able to give them some type of documentation to read beforehand?
You certainly can. I mean, like this sample email here, if you're gonna send them out an email, you can just state who you are. Maybe you've already talked to them on the phone already. And so maybe this is a follow-up email, state who you are, you're with the CAP advisory board. And then you maybe thank them for that time that you spoke to them, or this might be the first communication, I don't know. But you can definitely put some bullet points on this email to state what the reason for the invitation to the meeting is. I mean, you could give them like a little summary. I mean, I don't know if you want to give them the full information, like the PowerPoint, or, I mean, which you didn't state that, but I'm just saying, you might want to give them a snapshot of why you're inviting them to the meeting. And then they have a summary or an outline of what is going to be discussed. So you certainly can do that if you'd like to do that.
From your experience, like did the regional centers, sorry. The department heads, have they seen your recommendation from last year?
At CCP, they did, yeah.
Okay, so they're aware of this information.
No, they
And
didn't
then-
came through the documents that we,
Well, there was no recommendation for other departments to increase funding from CAP, suggesting that increased funding should go to other departments. There wasn't one last year. You guys
no, I think he
had
was,
your own recommendations to budget. So does that answer your question?
No.
so
Okay.
I was assuming he meant by did they hear, have they heard the recommendations that we have in here?
Oh,
So,
yeah,
okay.
these were first submitted to CCP a couple of years ago.
Okay.
We've been working on implementing.
So then maybe it's just attaching that document with the recommendations and saying, just here's a reminder of what we
Right.
proposed last year, and this is what we'll be discussing when you all attend our meeting or something like that.
okay, is that something that we can,
You could do, yeah, this Monique, you can do that. Also, keep in mind that this is gonna be posted, right? So it'll be public, whatever you, I mean, you could definitely send them out this kind of email correspondence ahead of time and give them an outline. You want to attach a
Right.
document so that they can know what the recommendations were, or whatever that document is you want to add to it. But also, whatever the final is, it's going to be posted before the meeting. So they are going to have some kind of familiarity about what is happening, right? Because you're posting this PowerPoint presentation or for the meeting ahead of time. So in a sense, the whole world will see it, right? So,
But if
but
they
it sounds
go out
like
their
when
way-
you inviting them, you want to give them a heads up on more detailed about what it'll be, like an outline and then an attachment. So yes, you certainly can do that. And you all could come up with whatever that attachment is. If I'm not mistaken, is the attachment the recommendations that we've had posted before in Nicole? Is that what the attachment is? Or is there a different attachment? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, say it again?
Is the attachment that that was just referenced, is that the recommendations that CAB, the 1 through 6 recommendations that we had that was presented to CCP, or is that the recommendations we're talking about?
Correct, yes.
Are we talking about something that, okay, good. So yes, we certainly can. Those are public documents. Remember, it was posted many times, so you can certainly send that to the individual and say, this is what we've recommended to CCP in the past. And then now this is another step, right? With this email, you can definitely do that.
But do you think that's too much for an email though?
I mean, I would just, if they wouldn't get all six, I would only include
The
that
three.
recommendation that's pertaining to that particular office. So if
Okay,
I'm emailing behavioral health,
Yeah.
then I would only include that
Yeah,
recommendation for behavioral health.
Okay.
I wouldn't give them information on the point,
the other ones, yeah,
right?
okay,
Because that's all I want to focus on.
yeah, yeah.
And
that
then
makes a
maybe-
lot of sense.
And that makes a lot of sense, cause I'm thinking, I'm like.
They're not,
They
that's,
have
that's
to
what,
read
that's
all that.
way too much. I propose that we, I like the idea of in the email, giving them like a little summary of what it's, what they're coming for. So it could be.
Yeah, give them the purpose.
So if
Like,
it's
say-
behavioral health,
Yeah.
and we come up with a verbiage and we post that particular recommendation there, say, no,
Mhm.
that's what we're focusing.
Mhm.
And just reading through this, there's some really good, I'm really good on, it's some really good verbiage that we can use from here,
Mhm.
that we can add into the email.
So I do have a question. This is Monique. So there's going to be 4 agencies that we're going to be sending something out to, right? And
Right.
have you settled on who's doing which agency? Because each one of you will reach out to one agency, right? Have you settled on that yet, or is that still something to be determined?
We haven't, that'll be our next discussion, but we will settle that here. We
Okay,
haven't
okay,
yet.
okay.
A good example, and I'm not sure what page that is,
What it look like?
I'll look like, it breaks down. You see it and I can tell her, I think you passed it, go back. Go back,
This is it. No.
no. There,
Uh-huh.
so page 17 of 27. So you see how it's broken down, but so they have the, a recommendation number 1.
Mhm.
And then it says, please note the following, and then those were like, what we're asking for based on that recommendation.
Right.
Okay,
Do we
so
want to include that much data or just a recommendation? Because you have just the recommendation itself, which is continued investment in housing service, just an example, an idea. Or do we want to also include that additional data that we listed as like key points or what that?
I mean, I think the key points, right? Because that's like the meat of,
The whole point of the.
yeah. And I, like, 3 sentences is not too much.
Right, I know. That's what I said, do we want to add the rest? So to see what you guys' feedback is. And it gives, it's the meat of it of what CAP is recommending, what we're asking for based on that recommendation.
Right.
Do you see it?
I do, but I'm looking at page. Wait. I'm actually looking at page 3 or 15 of 27, where it
Page
has
3, yeah.
the blue recommendation number 1, and then recommendation number 2.
You got it.
No.
But you see the page before that one, page 14.
Page 2.
I would like to include a little bit of that, just the 4 bullet points.
Right.
As a part
So
of
that's
the
what our-
purpose.
Yes,
Okay, and then the recommendation per agency.
right,
So to give them the purpose so that they know why they're coming, and then give them the recommendation that's based on what their office does.
right.
And then when they get here, go deeper into it. Because I just wouldn't want to open up a big, long email, and I don't need all of that.
Right.
What you guys think about that?
No, I mean, I agree. That's how we did the a bachelor one. Like I tailored my email in that fashion so it wouldn't be so big. And then some people that I talked to wanted a recap of CAB, so I had to go grab the CAB information. So
I just always think less is more, right?
if you do too much, you're not gonna read it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they're gonna come and go, oh, yeah. it is." Okay. Or. Okay.
Well, we can just do that. We'll just keep it simple with the integrate. Um,
Yeah, I say
This
let's keep
Monique
it.
again, I have a question or comment. So you all are collaborating on how you will be reaching out to the agencies once you decide which agencies you're reaching out to. But as far as my job here, you're not asking me to change anything here because this is just a guide. You're gonna tailor your emails to
Correct.
suit your purpose, right?
correct.
We're just,
Yes.
this is giving you kind of a idea, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, I just wanted to clarify that I'm not changing anything here, but I've noted where I do have to update this document in some areas, so thank you.
Okay. And we can still utilize this, say, if any event that someone does not show up, and that would, mean that we have to give them a call and use this as that talking point as we're going through the process with them. We will have to change a few things because it won't be two, there's one. So it'll just be one person reading the whole. Or, you can take it and, tailor it to just one individual. So, in my opinion, I like it as, before we pick our which program we're going to contact. In a nutshell, I like the document itself to kind of just have something to leave with program, a policy and budget, excuse me, as a template, going forward, so that there's something left for someone to follow, ongoing when reaching out to the county staffs. And then it can be tailored as needed, because there may be one year where there's more than just 3. So. But I think we have an idea of what our next steps are going to be. So I agree with picking who we want to reach out to. I already know what I'm gonna pick, so.
Go ahead and pick it.
Yours, right?
I always
Tell us what we got.
I always pick housing.
Okay.
I was giving somebody else a chance before I just jumped on it.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, it's
I'll
just an
take regional
email.
center if I have
You do which one?
regional center
Okay.
or behavior, it doesn't matter to me. So whichever one you want, Justin.
Well, there's 4 of them, right?
Wait,
So it
we
sounds like you
have-
don't want to do employment, so I can do them.
No, you can do whatever. It doesn't matter to me
Yeah,
when you want. You want employment?
sure.
Okay.
Sounds.
I'll do the regional center too. Just email, so I'll do the regional center. Justin, which one you doing? I'm sorry.
Employment.
Employment and human services. And then I'll do behavioral health.
And so do we need to align on a template email, or are we all comfortable kind of crafting based on the information that's in here?
I'm, how do you feel? I'm comfortable with crafting, so I'm gonna go based off of the template and kind of add on to it. And the only thing I'm gonna do is just add the recommendation there. I don't want it to be too much.
Yeah,
Say who we are,
Yeah,
and then. I'm
Great.
good with that.
yeah, I'm good with that too.
awesome. So do we want to get this email out to invite them to the June 16th?
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay, and are we trying to do that in the next couple weeks? So they have, a month or so to,
So we want to get it done before our May call and bring.
yeah, and then bring the
Okay.
resolution back of like, this person said yes, this person said no, and then we can,
Mhm.
because if both of your people say no,
Okay,
we don't want you doing 2 individual meetings, right? Just
Perfect.
divvy that up.
that's fine. So our goal is so Monique, you'll update that and send the information out to us. And then our goals will be to reach out to the contacts before our next May call and bring back that feedback. Okay.
And
In
I'll
that
also
email, do we-
send you the summary of the programs and services survey. I'll send that to you today, and then I'll update this list and send it to you today.
Thank you, Monique.
I
And then
have
do
a
we want-
question though. This Monique, I have a question. So is your intention to invite all 4 of the agencies on June 16th? Is that the
Yes.
intention? Okay,
Yes.
okay, just checking. Okay.
And I think to piggyback off of that, I think we should note that in our email communication, like letting them know that we invited these
Okay.
departments.
That's a good point.
When was the deadline for the email to go out?
2 weeks.
Additional.
We just made that up.
I did. Very arbitrary. Does that work, Lenita?
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see.
I don't go nowhere without my calendar. Yeah, so like the second week of May.
So when was that? The
The
date?
second week of May, May 8th through May 12th.
Mine is in my car. I usually bring the whole bag. So deadline. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Put that on the net. See, I'm trying to get. with
So
the
I
time.
do have a question about, I remember the discussion, I mean, this is obviously a tool for you all to use. But I do remember the discussion, and I didn't change it, but I need to change it to say, trying to find the page where it talks about don't be negative or something, right? You guys want me to change that?
Yeah, well,
I feel it was on page 11 of this agenda.
11.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
it's
it's
11.
more than one place, but what did we settle on? I forgot what we settled on, and I didn't have a chance to change it when I posted this. What would you like me to say? Most important, don't be negative. You want me to say something other than that?
Yeah, remember we said.
Because we did have a long discussion.
I'm going back to it.
I think it was you, Lenita, that mentioned it, right?
Yeah,
Or
we
it might have
crossed
been
out
just-
something negative, but I think I was charged to come with something.
Yeah, but you left with 3 points. You said most important, either stay positive, most important, have fun, be open-minded. And then I wrote, I think it was more to that, but it was most important, and I wrote change. I know there was 3 things you said, and I made a note.
That sounds like me too. Have fun, be open-minded. That sounds real good. Have fun, that sounds just like me too.
Yeah, I wrote down what you.
Be open-minded. I'm trying to think of what else I would have said. Have fun. Be open-minded. And stay connected. All right, what y'all think about that? No.
No,
Have fun.
the most important thing is just stay.
I just don't want them to yuck people young, so.
No, just have
young.
fun, just have fun. I like to have fun, be open-minded, stay positive. What's the gateway? And I mean, the whole point, and maybe you can narrow it down to one word, but the whole point is just being supportive to one another.
Mhm. Most important, be supportive and have fun. Okay. And I like the fun. Right?
Yeah.
like the
I mean,
fun
this is a
part.
forever changing document.
Interactive with each other, so,
Right,
yeah. Okay, so Monique, I think, are we gonna go with that, Nicole?
that's fine.
What did I just say? Most important, stay supportive.
Have fun.
And have-
Oh, have fun, be open-minded and stay positive. That's what I have. Is it different?
Oh, she changed it.
Oh, you changed it? Okay, what would you like me
I
to
forgot,
say?
wait, it was
I
stay supportive, and what? I forgot, Monique.
I can listen to the recording.
Stay supportive and have fun.
There you go.
Okay, is that the entirety of it? Stay supportive and have fun?
Yes,
Or is it be open-minded also?
no,
So stay supportive and have fun.
or maybe we should say.
You
Not
wanna think
stay
about it for a
supportive.
second?
So
What if
I want to add to
supportive?
this.
Okay, go ahead.
Although I do like to have fun, but is the objective is to have fun for this meeting? I mean, you're contacting them, you're advocating for increased funding, right? So, I mean,
No, but that document is the policy and budget effective meeting.
okay,
That's more for us, right? That's not for the person that we're contacting. So we're telling subcommittee members to be positive, be open-minded, have fun. It's for us. It's a reminder for us.
okay.
Yeah.
So don't be uptight about this meeting.
Pretty much.
Right.
Okay, so is it still 3 different points? State, or is it one point, most important, ... stay positive and have fun? Or is it most important, ... stay positive, have fun, bullet point, be
The first
open-minded?
one, let me,
The first one only, right?
Just write
Okay.
just write a
Thank
big
you.
bold letters, be positive.
Okay, thank you. Okay, got it.
Meetings are, they will be shocked, the meetings are actually fun. They are fun. Right.
Okay,
I mean, you guys are my social life,
But so.
which is sad.
Yeah, but true.
it's not sad.
No, it's
Okay.
actually kind of nice. I know once a month I'm gonna get a good joke.
Okay, so I think
Right.
I think we're set when it comes to this document. We just kind of recap, we have all agreed on who's doing what. So I'm gonna cover the housing and regional center. Justin, you're gonna cover employment, and then you're gonna cover behavioral health. We're in agreement that we're all gonna tailor our emails, however we want to put them together, but they're going to basically include the purpose, the subject. We're going to include whatever that recommendation is for that particular individual. And then also let them know that there will be other parties that are coming to the June meeting. Our goal, we're going to keep this as a standing document because it can be always changing, right? So leave this in place for the document for policy and budget. Our goal is to make our phone calls out to the county staff. Deadline is second week of May between May 8th and 12th to bring back to our May meeting with results. And our goal is to do the presentation at our June meeting. And Justin, you will work on the PowerPoint presentation to get our feedback.
Yep.
Okay, great.
gotcha.
And I think that we should let the others know that they've been invited and not that they're coming, because we aren't
Right.
sure if
Right.
they're coming or not, but just say, yeah, they've been invited. Oh, good job.
Any
Um,
comments or questions? Oh, go ahead.
I do have a comment. So just even though you let them know they're invited, just make sure that they confirm. And if you want them to confirm with ORJ, like me, we could definitely, because they're gonna have to be on the agenda, right? So we want to make sure that they have confirmed and they, we're posting that they're gonna be there. So just they could
Okay.
either confirm with you all, or they can confirm with, just send me an email stating, yes, we'll be at the June 16th meeting. Just so we'll have the
They're
accurate
able-
information.
They're able to attend virtually, correct?
Yes, they can attend virtually. And I just want to do a quick time check. You guys are doing great. You're accomplishing a lot. It's 12:02.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I just want to open for any public comment before we move to the next agenda item to see if anyone had any feedback. Off of everything just went through or over? No? Okay, hearing none, we can move on to our next agenda, I can't talk, agenda item, which is the work plan.
And I see my name, did I get to do something?
And that's on attachment 3, page 26. Let me just get my life organized real quick. Okay. So
I have a comment on this, Nicole.
Okay,
Is this the one you voted on? Because maybe I haven't put the, because usually the work to date is like, oh no, here it is, timeline right here, for timeline, okay. I was wondering if the dates, okay, here they are, I'm sorry, I was confused about work to date versus timeline. Okay, scratch that.
and no, to answer your question, there wasn't anything for it, well, the only thing that really for you to do is, it was the feedback from the, I just lost my train of thought too, from the programs and services, if you did join that meeting, that's why your name is there.
Okay.
So, looking at our work plan, when it comes to the first two, we're still working on that, right? So reviewing, researching data and collaborating. So we're doing that by, we're still in the process of this in reference to identifying to what degree specific demographics such as race, ethnicity, age, gender, and could probably present to, the full cap. The next one in reference to, programs and services, were you able to join the meeting? So we want to, so even though your name is there, we all agreed that if you couldn't make it, that one of us, should join it. So how do we, moving forward, if you can't make it, are we able to, what's the best way to notify each other so that someone can join in case she can't make it? Or
Okay,
just go back,
this
to
is
no, we all said recording, we can go back.
This
to
is
the recording.
this is Monique, right? So I think the best way is probably just stating, letting Origin, I mean, I know if you attended or not because I'm there, right? However, I may not remember, right? So I think Lanita can email me and say, can you let the group know that I wasn't able to attend? Or, yeah, I think that might be the easiest way. And then I shoot out a blind copy and say, can you all just check out the recording? Now, you know that the meeting is the third Thursday of the month. So, and I've been trying to do a better job of posting the recording like right away. So you all can just, go on. Are you guys subscribed to the channel?
Yeah, so I was just going to say that if you go on there, I recently did, and you get the notification. Oh yeah, we're on YouTube. And if you get if you click on notification, I get an alert every time she posts a video, and it
Okay,
comes up.
so go to YouTube to.
If you go back and click on the link and the programs and services agenda, it'll take you to the
Alright.
YouTube channel.
And I
then
can blind copy you all. I'll blind copy you all with how to do it, and then I can send you the link from the previous meeting. So they just met yesterday.
Right.
I could send you the link, but I could also send you information on how to access, how to have the notifications.
We came up with a. I don't think that was on hold. I thought we changed that on our last call. The RJOB.
So this is Monique again. So our job was on hold, but they will have a meeting coming up on April 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. And they will have a virtual option to attend. And I actually will be posting their agenda today, their quarterly meeting.
Okay.
And I'll make sure you all are on the blind copy. I mean, you'll probably get it, like Nicole gets the notification. You'll probably get it, but I'll include your name so that you can at least be privy to this agenda that's being posted.
I had a circle of, we had timeline was still ongoing, work to date. We had crossed out on hold and that was gonna put in the date that you had, and then when it said responsibility, we decided all.
So for our job is all,
Mhm.
okay, so I'll take off the on hold, I'll take that off,
Right.
and then I'll update this to say all. Okay.
Any questions so far? Are we good to move on?
No, we good.
Okay. The next one in reference to develop the fiscal year for the policy and budget recommendations. I think we're fine with that. We're on track with our timeline, so we complete our county staff meeting in time. We can start working on the first one here.
And all of us are responsible for that. too.
Correct. I know last year Patrice really helped with the document, so it was just us giving her the recommendations, and then she sat down with me to put together the information.
Mhm.
So she was really helpful, and she actually types it all out. It's just us giving her the data.
Okay.
Just think of that one. So I think we're on track when it comes to it. Wait a minute. Oh, the very last one at the end, Monique first says include best practices for the balance of unspent funding rolling over to the next fiscal year. That TBD should be changed to May through June.
Okay, I will update that.
And programs and services is reaching out to the CBOs, not to the departments, correct?
Correct, and that's gonna be on our next meeting to kind of bring that back to the table of us collaborating with them.
Great. And then one kind of, excuse me.
Ooh, that's gonna be contentious.
One broader question, so we make our recommendation to CCP later in the year, correct? And so our recommendation is gonna be influencing the budget for 24-25.
Correct. Am I correct? I'm correct. Yeah, right.
We're making our recommendation to CCP later in the year, like October, December time. And so that will be included in the budget recommendations for 24-25.
Yeah.
I always get the years
Thank you.
mixed up.
The program and services meeting is the second Thursday or the third Thursday?
Third Thursday monthly. So they're usually the day before you all. Because you're the third Friday.
Yeah. So it's just great.
So it was yesterday,
Mhm,
third Thursday. Okay.
mhm.
Mhm.
Look, and I got it right.
Is there any additional comments regarding work plan?
Thanks.
No? Any public comment? Okay, moving on. The next one is our next steps.
Next step.
So, same as the recap I just did pretty much.
Yeah.
Want me to go through the next?
I think we're good.
Right, I'm like,
Everybody knows.
you need me to go through the, because I know I kind of did it before the agenda.
No, I heard you talk about the next, so I'll listen to the recording and do the next steps.
Okay. All right, okay. Before we adjourn, any other items? No?
Do you want, so this approach that you all put together or redesigned to kind of help with the policy and budget subcommittee, do we want to revamp this based on the approach that we're taking this year? So that way this type of document stays,
Say that again.
so like, this was designed off of last year's meetings with programs and subcommittee.
This document is new. So
This
the
is new.
record, right, so only thing that's, if I'm understanding you correctly, the only thing that's being continued is the same recommendations that have been in there for the past couple years. So Crawford this actually is an outline from the ambassadors, and then I just had Robert take the notes from the CCP meeting and change the verbiage. So this is actually a totally new talking
Got it.
document that was tailored just for our subcommittee.
Got it. And so since our approach is more of this, like, come to our meeting instead of us going to you and doing individual conversations, we want to revamp this so that it stays current with
Also-
our approach.
Or add in the invitation, keep
To
that,
this,
but
yes.
add to it so that it's either or. Because sometimes we are gonna have to go there.
Mhm.
And then sometimes we will invite them here. So
Got it.
maybe add the second part, the invitation part to that,
Correct.
but keep that as like a part of what we do too.
So I agree with what she's saying, because it could be at one point where this committee is extremely large. So it could be, I think it's good to keep in place just to have those examples as if they had to go out and talk to them or they invite in. So I think we should add, once we complete ours, add in what we just get to hear, like your example of the PowerPoint, just something we can leave
Yeah,
other members when the new ones come on next year.
okay.
But as you sit down, if you see something that you may feel like could be changed, that's our whole purpose. Is this a changing document? So it's not set in stone. So if there's something that you want to give feedback, I would love a new set of eyes, because
Yeah.
this is what we use in reference to our talking points on how we delivered last year. So I just wanted to include those recommendations.
No, I think it's really great. I think the content is wonderful. I think for me, it's always helpful to have like this is our systematic approach, right?
Okay.
Like, first, we're gonna invite everybody. If they can't come, then we're gonna do an individual meeting. And in that individual meeting, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Because like right now, all of the information is there. It's just not. It's not in a way that we could review a kind of a timeline or like
Mhm.
our checklist of what we need to do.
Okay.
And again, I'm just throwing ideas out there. So
So I like the idea of having a checklist. Because then it's a little more organized and
Correct.
strategic, right? And you'll know step by step, like if we weren't here and somebody was coming in, they would know from the checklist, oh, I gotta do this first, I
Yeah.
gotta do this second. So I think I like the checklist type
Okay.
style.
Okay,
Um,
so do you want me to put together a checklist?
hmm,
maybe of just like the large steps that we take, right?
Okay.
Like, what are the 6 things we need to do in order to accomplish this task?
mhm,
Okay,
mhm. Good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Or, I mean, 6 was
Say a number.
and when we
You just
say
do
the
the number.
console,
yeah,
Okay.
when we say accomplished tasks, are we solely focusing on
the
this?
meeting with the
Exactly.
departments, yeah.
See, my wheels will start turning. I'm like, are you meaning every step that we take for?
No, but maybe we do that later.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a good point, because I mean, no, really, when we walk, I mean, I'm still here to be able to say, here's what we did.
Right,
But if I wasn't, then you wouldn't have any idea.
right. We'd
of
be
the
swimming.
steps. And I had to learn all this last year.
Mhm.
So I think it's a good idea to
Yeah.
actually put that together. And that is something that we talked to Crawford about, is putting the steps
It
together
together.
lead
Mhm.
for ongoing CAB members. So
Great,
I work on that. So you took the PowerPoint.
all right.
And I will have that for our next well, at least a draft to get your feedback on it for our next May meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna set myself a reminder. I'll be like, I said, what?
Right, I saw this. I saw my name. Did I?
Okay,
Go back and watch the video today.
okay. Yeah, I'll try. I got.
It may give an
update. Okay, so what time? Okay, so there's no other comments, then we should be okay to adjourn.
Yes, we can adjourn at 12:18, and I will go ahead and update the information I said I would update and send it to you all and get this agenda posted to Agenda Center as an amended item.
And Monique, when we're sending out those email communications to the department heads, would you like to be included, or Patrice, or is it just us directly to them?
You could you don't have to include us. Sometimes people would copy me on the ambassador one, it's totally up to you, but you don't have to include us because you're setting up this on your own. But if you'd like to copy us, you can copy me, I would say, if you'd like.
I'd say copy, just openly copy.
Okay.
There's a connection.
Got it. That's kind of what I was thinking as
Yeah.
well. It's a little bit of weight with Monique's name. instead
Yeah.
of mine.
Like, who is this person calling?
Yeah.
Okay, well, any other added before we adjourn? No? Okay, so we will adjourn to our next policy and budget subcommittee meeting, which is gonna be May 19th from 11 to 12:30.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ooh.